Hello everyone, it is I back again with yet another video. So today I wanted to more address something. I sometimes will post videos on my private thing so that for like a video diary referential thing, so that I can keep like digital binder of memories of things I've gone through, of things I've accomplished, stuff like that. I freely admit that the other day I definitely accidentally posted one to the public sphere. And this was not a very pleasant one. This was one where I was dealing with a good bit of gender dysphoria, hence the title of this video. For those of you who don't know, I am a trans woman, so I was born a guy, transitioned, I'm about 3 years into hormonal therapy, surgeries, stuff like that, and the journey continues. So for those of you who want to say, trans women are going to hell, I can't say that that's true, but I can say that at least this one is slightly kind of a Satanist. So although I like to call myself the happiest doom and gloom bitch you'll ever meet. But here we go. I want to go into this because one person saw it and one person is too much. One person is enough people to do what I can to explain the situation at hand. Because if I were somebody and I saw the video that I posted, I would be either concerned, turned off, kind of worried. Because what it was pain, emotional pain associated with gender dysphoria. This video is not going to go into the spiritual implications of being transgender simply because not even I have all the answers. It has been a question I have asked myself for as long as I can remember, and I have a lot of what I like to consider good philosophical views on the topic. But when it comes to the spiritual process of why one would be transgender, I have theories, but I don't have any concrete things. I will share my theories with you though. So my theory with this one will say, there are souls in this world, right? We're all kind of human souls going through the human experience in human bodies. But there are souls, and if you look at alchemy, there's the salt, the sulfur, and the mercury. There is the physical body, which is represented by the salt, the spiritual body, which is represented by the sulfur, the soul, and the mercury, which is the collective sea of consciousness that the human soul swims in. So it would be the spirit of humanity, the collective soul of humanity, or the collective soul of, if you're looking at alchemy, they split it into kingdoms, animals, plants, and minerals. Sorry, animals, yeah, plants and minerals. So, what in my case, in my particular case, I have come to somewhat believe is that certain, my soul, for whatever reason, is, first of all, I would want to say the soul is genderless. The soul has no physical gender expression by any means, but that doesn't mean that a soul can't align with a certain energetic flavor that would be generally accepted to be either masculine or feminine. Body is something that we come into for a limited time. So in my theory, from what I understand, from what my hypothesis is so far, and I want to say that this is unverified personal gnosis, not confirmed, is that gender dysphoria is a body thing and pretty much purely a body thing. However, there are elements of kind of soul implications as well. And let me explain that. Every single one of us that incarnates to learn a lesson, grow, fulfill a purpose, something like that. We don't incarnate just for shits and giggles. I mean, like maybe we do, but it's considered shits and giggles when we're not facing the consequences that we're living with here, to some degree. So, what are the important philosophical, self-reflective lessons that can be learned from incarnating as a trans person? Well, you find out who you really are. I've often thought in my life I incarnated as far away from who I am as possible to try and to try and find my way back to who I actually am so that I can know who I am from the knowledge that I'm learning about who I'm not. Like I say, unverified personal gnosis, but I am an Aries born to two cancers in a Christian household that's, slightly satanic trans woman. So I'm like, clearly something went wrong here. It would be so much easier if I could just, you know, follow the herd. So, but I believe that the journey that takes place when one is born with these kinds of things, like I said, I do believe that it is a body thing. I believe that it is a body thing that the soul chooses to experience, though. It is something that is mostly in the body because I do think that there are plenty of situations where people who have more of a masculine flavor are in a feminine body and are very okay with it, or people that have more of a feminine flavor but are in a masculine body are very okay with it. Um, so to have the entire trans experience, I do believe that is something that is relating to the physical body, but I also believe that it's something that when we incarnate, our souls come here to experience. That's a little bit of knowledge that I want to say that is accurate, but since I have not verified it. So take what I say with a grain of salt. Now we're going to go into actually what it's like to experience gender dysphoria. I'm going to share my story and also on this channel share my journey. One of the things about me is I like to always do my best to make lemonade out of the lemons that life gives me. So when I accidentally post a video where I am dealing with my own issues regarding a certain topic, make that public and at least one person sees it, that's my cue to say maybe this would be a good idea to incorporate into my channel because it is a major aspect of who I am and it is something that in this world at this time is a very divisive issue. It's a very controversial issue. And I love controversy. So I think that might be very helpful. All right. Gender dysphoria, any dysphoria, but specifically, I don't need to give the examples. It's 2022. Y'all know what this means. To those of you who want to know what it feels like, think of looking in the mirror and, you know, knowing you're human, but like seeing, I don't know, something that is not. I don't know. That's not a good example. Let me rephrase that. So you're looking in the mirror, you want to see yourself, but what you experience to be the image you project to the world is not reflected in that mirror, is the scientific name. It feels like hell. And transition really is, at this day and age, in the time that we have, the only thing that can help. And I will tell you how I know that. I grew up in a Christian household. I fell under that indoctrination umbrella for many years. I tried everything to avoid this. I tried lifestyle changes. I got out and started doing MMA. I got myself a Harley Davidson. I got a job at a construction site. And I tried my damnedest to be the manliest man to ever man. And I couldn't pull it off. I tried changing my diet. I did everything from vegan to keto to carnivore because I knew that carnivore had been shown to heal many people's what they want to call mental illnesses. And since I don't personally, my viewpoint is I don't think it's necessarily wrong to label gender dysphoria as a mental illness. The problem is with the stigma that will then be associated with it by the world around us and the repercussions that the world will put on us from people that don't like us. They'll use it should be labeled a mental illness, yes, but it should not be stigmatized. And if it's labeled as a mental illness, there will be many people that will use that label as an excuse to stigmatize, and that's why, that's why it is the way it is, and no longer in the DSM. Out of everything I tried, I think the carnivore diet came the closest to getting rid of the dysphoria, but never really made more than a dent. I also tried hypnosis. I tried magic. I tried a lot of things, and there was nothing that I could do to beat who I was. Now I'm very happy with who I am. I'm here and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to hell for this. I'm not an evil person. I did the best that I could with the information that I had, with the body I was given, with the circumstances I was born into. And I'm very much okay with that. Transition does not cure it, but it makes it so much more manageable. It does prevent suicides, and it does bring about a lot of happiness. It does not only stop evil, but it promotes joy in those of us who experience this. It saves lives and it enables living. And what I mean by enable living is that many, many people, I think, in this time frame are not alive. Their bodies are functioning, their hearts are beating, but they are robots to the habits that they have lived. There is no bit of dynamic life in them, and it has been driven out of them by the society and the lifestyles, in which they live. A major contributor to that sort of death, um, if one is experiencing gender dysphoria, is the dysphoria itself. So by allowing somebody to get the treatment they need, you are promoting life. I'm a little less than 3 years into hormonal therapy. I started when I was almost right before my 22nd birthday, so I'm 24 now, and I could not be happier as a person. But that doesn't mean that there are not days that do really suck. There are not situations that I deal with from transphobic people that do not get to me from time to time. Now, I'm a sort of mutually assured destruction kind of person. I am very, very good at emasculating people because I played the role of kind of a hypermasculine person for a long time. And usually it's the hypermasculine people that end up not liking us. It's either the people with Napoleon complexes, the hypermasculine people, or the closeted versions of us that end up hating us. I grew up with wonderful experiences of all those mentalities, so I'm happy to take anybody that wants to start things with me down with me. However, that's not something I think I enjoy doing, and that doesn't mean that sometimes it doesn't hurt having situations come up in your life that clearly lead you to realizing that certain people, are just assholes. And there are a lot of assholes. Some of them, asshole has no gender. It's they're assholes on both sides of the aisle. What I found is that men tend to be assholes more frequently than women, but when women are assholes, they're much more outspoken about it when it comes to this issue that I'm facing. They're much more blatantly, you can tell with women. Men are better at hiding it a little bit. But if you talk with one long enough, you will start to see that they do not like you or your issue or really anything like that, and would rather you didn't exist. They might not kill you, but they'd rather you didn't exist. Oh, that's a fun little thing to keep in the back of your head constantly. Yeah, since I want to keep this mostly a spiritual channel, but I will talk about this on this channel not frequently because this is not my priority. However, since I did accidentally upload that, this is my response. To go into some of the things that I said in that video while I was having a akin to an anxiety attack or a panic attack, and break it down and talk about the implications of it. Now that I'm in a very healthy mind, where does this lead us? One of the things I said was that I wondered if I was an asshole to women in a past life. With how many lives we've all lived, there's no doubt in my mind that there has been at least one where I was a piece of crap. And sometimes, a lot of times, when I'm going through stressful situations, I think, wow, I must have been a real asshole in a past life to deserve this situation. That's something that comes up in the moment. That is not an accurate thought. The situation you're in now, while it may have been influenced a bit by the situations you were in previous lives, by the karma you've developed, but that does not mean that that karma will come back to you. Karma does not work the way that people in America think it works. So if you're looking at the actual definition of karma, karma is really mental loops and habits that you have built over a lifetime from reacting to stimuli. So karma would be, say you want to, create somebody that really values chicken nuggets, have them somehow tied into something else that they value. Okay, just to give a better example. You're at home and you're chilling and you have a milkshake in your hand. Suddenly, your dog comes in, bites your shoe. You're like, all right, stop it. And you drop the milkshake and it spills everywhere. You say, this is just my life. This is all my life is. Just chaos and spilled milkshakes. That, you just planted a seed in the field. Now, what you've done is you've created in your brain certain loops, certain thought patterns, it's the right word, certain thought loops. But what you've done is you've created a path that leads to that thought loop. You have taken the forest that is your brain and chopped away the trees, made clearings, and created a path that was now more easy to follow that leads exactly to the thought loop, my life is shit. Take that a step further. Now you're going to work and you have your coffee in your hand and you trip on the curb and spill your coffee. You're just like, God, now I'm Butterfingers and I can't hold anything. Now you can't hold anything, and you've created a thought loop in your brain that's telling you can't hold anything. Although it's not looping yet. These two situations are similar enough to where the act of dropping something is very clearly associated with self-hatred. So that is the generalized loop that you were creating. Drop a few more things throughout the day, and it becomes easier for you to drop shit. It becomes easier for you to hate yourself, and you start going down negative mental spirals. That is karma. That is karma. That does not mean that there's going to be external situations that will fly back and hit you in the face. If you're really, really powerful, energetically speaking, there might be situations where that could happen. I have yet to come across something like that, but theoretically, I don't see how that would be impossible. But I have not come across it yet. Even if you're going to curse somebody, you're doing more damage to yourself and your psyche by entertaining the idea of hatred than by actually cursing another person. The rule of three is bullcrap. It's not going to come back to you three times fold. What you will do is if you curse somebody, you need to generate a lot of negative, frustrated karma in order to generate that energy that you're going to throw on that person. The act of generating that karma, especially if you're doing it habitually, makes generating that karma easier and easier and easier until it's not so much something that you choose to do, it is a part of you. So who do you want to be? What kind of karma do you want to generate? Do you want to generate stuff that is associated with self-hatred? Or do you want to generate stuff that is associated with things that will get you places in life? Wear whatever the hell you want, do whatever the hell you want. I don't care how many people do crimes, do drugs, do anything. This is the world where this is going to happen. But I will ask the question, if you're watching this video, if you're watching this channel, what do you want? Do you want to be a badass criminal? Maybe you feel like that's super dope. If that's the case, I think go for it. Do you want to be somebody that maybe isn't like that? Somebody that is loved by the society they're in for being somebody that brings about feelings of joy in other people, of being kind, of being considerate, of being um, a source of pride for the community that they live in. Then generate karma that leads you to becoming a source of pride. Karma is not, you cannot instantly get rid of the thought loops you create, but if you choose to not act on the habits that you've created, and then choose to maybe not do what you can to not think about the habits that you've created. It can be a long process, but eventually the forest of your brain will overgrow and the paths to destruction will become fewer and fewer. Then again, maybe you love destruction and you hate love and light. Maybe that's part of your personality. That is also karma, but that's deeper karma than superficial surface level karma. If it is a general character of your personality, like being trans, it might not be something that you have too much control over in one lifetime. That doesn't mean that you can't use this lifetime as a springboard to build habits that it will in your next lifetime. When you're born, shape your young mind, more malleable mind into a character that does not value the things that society shits on people for. And you can be a model citizen. Anyway, that's a little bit of talk on karma. Um, yeah, so I think I'm going to wrap up this video here. I hope you all have enjoyed. If you would like to get a tarot reading, please shoot me a link onto my business page down below. If there's anything I can do for you ritual-wise, please shoot me an email. My email will be down below, or message me on Facebook or Instagram. Thank you all, and I will see you in my next video.